Last week's Group 7 summit once again featured China as a big stunt. Hey guys, you know what? Creating a foreign enemy to deflect domestic conflicts is really an old-fashioned tactic. The China blaming routine again. I don't even want to bother talking about that, but this time it made me laugh. They're literally saying, although we're not looking to decouple from China, but China is economically coercing other countries. Are you serious? The United States, the biggest bully in the world, the father, mother, and grandfather of coercive diplomacy, is accusing other countries of what it has done for years with its allies. Then, I do have some stories to tell. I'm Sina. Welcome to Factstell. Coercive diplomacy is easy to understand. Powerful countries use pain to make others comply and compromise. It is not a brand new concept in international politics. It was systematically theorized by people, including American researcher Alexander George in the 1970s. And over the years, the United States has mastered the skills of coercive diplomacy and has been wielding the big stick against the rest of the world for their benefit. As the strongest superpower in the world, America has a whole set of weapons to intimidate other nations, including military threats, and our leading man today, economic coercion. On the military side, America spends more on its defense power than China, Russia, India, Saudi Arabia, the United Kingdom, Germany, France, South Korea, Japan, and Ukraine, 10 countries combined. They even previously categorized $30.3 billion of military expenses explicitly for coercive diplomacy. When military threats are too visible and dangerous, America will go other ways, like economic coercion. Looking back on history, when it comes to hobbling its global competitors, America has often been ruthless in bashing their economic development. Two prime examples are Alstom of France and Toshiba of Japan. The long arm of American sheriffs forced France Alstom, a global leader in various power and transportation fields at that time, to sell the bulk of its assets to America's General Electric in 2015. Toshiba of Japan, one of the leading electronic companies in the world, was hit hard by bans and fines in the 1980s because the CIA accused them of doing business with the Soviet Union.
We'll stand together with others against economic coercion and intimidation.
Just listen to your own words, Mr. Blinken. What you have said is exactly the opposite of what your country has been doing. Furthermore, France and Japan are allies of the U.S. Even they are not immune to America's economic coercion, not to mention the irritants of Washington, such as China and Russia. Tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock. The threat in the U.S. ban is like a sword above the head, grilling TikTok and its owner ByteDance for years, once after it became one of the most popular social media platforms in the world. The choice between being banned or selling it all at an unfavorable price has become even more imminent for ByteDance in recent days. Last week, Montana became the first U.S. state to ban TikTok completely. They say it's about consumer protection, but come on, everyone knows what's going on. It's a Chinese tech brand, and it wouldn't cost America much to torture it. Easy prey, big fortune. What a perfect target for economic coercion. And America's allies have also become passive brokers in between. In 2020, Britain banned Huawei 5G installation from September 2021 and ordered all Huawei equipment removed from its 5G network by the end of 2027. As the world's leading 5G technology provider, Huawei's cooperation with the UK can stimulate the country's development. However, in order to surprise Chinese companies, America sacrificed the national interests of its ally without a second thought.
And the reason we have disengaged from China and Huawei and 5G has got nothing to do with British national security. It's because we were told by the Americans that we had to. And the Germans, who took a view in their national interest, have kept with 5G. And as if Britain had, we would now be at the forefront of countries using the most advanced telecommunications technology, and we're not.
Cotton, chips, and many other familiar issues are also important weapons of America's economic coercion against China. Next time you read about these, don't be surprised. As for Russia, the United States has been imposing economic sanctions against it for ages. But after the outbreak of the conflict between Russia and Ukraine has turned into a comprehensive boycott. From finance to oil and gas, transportation to commerce, the U.S. and its allies are expecting a collapsed economy and a compliant Russia. Remember, the evil essence of this approach is to use pain to force the target to compromise. But in the end, in most cases, the people just like you and I are the ones feeling that pain. Former Secretary of State Michael Pompeo made it clear the sanctions against Iran were designed to make the country suffer.
The sting of sanctions will be painful if the regime does not change its course from the unacceptable and unproductive path it has chosen to one that rejoins the League of Nations. These will indeed end up being the strongest sanctions in history when we are complete. The regime has been fighting all over the Middle East for years. After our sanctions come in force, it will be battling to keep its economy alive.
And when the economy struggles, it is the Iranian people that bear the brunt. As the UN Human Rights Council concludes in a previous report, the sanctions will no doubt harm ordinary people in Iran and violate their human rights. In Venezuela, in Zimbabwe, in Cuba, in Syria, the same old story. The Turkey Syria earthquake on February 6 showed just how big the human rights crisis U.S. sanctions can create. Because America and its allies' sanctions, planes sending humanitarian assistance refused to land at Syrian airports. There was even no fuel to send aid and rescue convoys because of blockades and sanctions. Syrians were digging through the rubble with their bare hands because the U.S. and its allies' sanctions left them without enough heavy machinery to continue their search and rescue operations. Ambulances and fire trucks were also facing severe shortages.
Now, this is a humanitarian crisis. Today, we are talking in Aleppo by itself, 400,000 people who are homeless, lost their house. In Latakia, where I live, my city, 150,000 people also lost their houses. We are the casualties are day by day. Just a few minutes ago, the head of the health of Syria, the Syrian Health Ministry, announced that there is a shortage of medical equipment. People are dying in the hospitals, are injured because of there's no medical. A huge problem in Syria also is the shortage of baby milk, and I am personally going through that problem. It takes me, I go every day hours around Latakia pharmacies, and I even call other cities from outside of Latakia, like Aleppo and other places, to find a box of milk for my own baby.
That's it. That is what America has been doing around the world. The next time I see America accusing another country of economic coercion, I'll know there is no another country, but America itself looking into the mirror. Thank you for watching our show today. If you like it, please subscribe and leave your comments down below. I'm Sina. I'll see you next time.